Having a successful career in PPC is about so much more than bids and budgets and targeting and creative. You're about to hear 3 unique perspectives on how to be successful in PPC beyond the platforms. Welcome to ppc.zone July 2022. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales, and I created this event to elevate new perspectives and insights within our industry. Next up in the zone, this speaker is an ethical marketing strategist at Magnaventris. He helps organizations make their digital marketing more inclusive, secure, ethical, and effective. Now he's going to share his perspective with us on ethics in PPC. This speaker has 12 years of multi-channel digital marketing experience. You may know him as Furkung Mabubo on Twitter. Please welcome Doug Thomas.
Hey, y'all. How are you? Thank you so much, Jill, for having me here at PPC Zone. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the really great presentation. I'm Doug Thomas. My pronouns are he and him. And like Jill said, I've been in the digital marketing world for 12 years. I've been doing almost everything under the digital sun, including search, social, and video advertising. And now I'm the lead strategist at Magnaventris, an ethical digital marketing company that helps organizations make their digital marketing more inclusive, accessible, safe, ethical, and effective. Today, I'm super excited to show you all some ways to make your PPC advertising more ethical. We're going to go over one thing from each of the 3 different ways that ethics comes up in PPC advertising: inclusion, accessibility, and privacy. And while we do that, I want y'all to think about, and if you're comfortable, share in chat, what ethical issues keep you up at night? So inclusivity is maybe the first step to making our ads ethical. It's ultimately an important goal. We want to make sure all of our clients' customers feel like they're welcome to buy the thing that we're advertising. This isn't just a moral imperative. It's part of over 3 decades of law for industries like the financial world. In 1989, the regulations for the fair housing advertising were published, providing FHA lenders with guidance on how to create advertising that doesn't exclude people. Among advice around media placements, translation, and copy, the regulations have a section about what they call selective use of human models. This section instructs that when you're using stock photos, you have to actually represent the people that are in your audience. This seems simple, but there are thousands of times where you've seen this just not happen. As an example, let's look at one of the most successful direct-to-consumer companies, Shein. If you look for a dress, you see literally one model, a thin white woman. Their regular sizing goes from size 4 to size 12. A customer might wonder, how do these clothes fit on different kinds of bodies? If Shein provided even just one other model showing how the dress fits on a different body type, their sales would increase. Their returns would decrease, and overall, the retailer's profitability would be even higher. And this is just one example of how someone might use inclusivity to make their ads more effective. But I think it's the most obvious. For every business, showing your audience how your product helps the real them will always be more effective than showing someone who's only kind of like them. But it's not enough to just look like you help people like them. It's July, and so it's Disability Pride Month. This month brings awareness and visibility to the disability community. The next step to making your PPC advertising more ethical is supporting folks who might use the web differently than the majority of users. One definition of disability is really key to how we can approach accessibility. Microsoft's Inclusive Toolkit defines disability not as a personal health condition, but as a mismatch between expected and actual human interactions. Using this definition, we can think of accessibility as not an attempt to design for some unknowable edge case, but as improving the usability of the site for everyone. And usability is no more important than on the single most important part of any lead generating landing page, the form. So let's take a look at a form I recently redesigned, and it's from a Wix site. This form has actually some great points for accessibility, notably the size and the inputs and the clearly delineated input areas. But there's two big issues we can solve. The first issue is the basic layout. There's 2 columns and then just one. This creates a moment of hesitation for the user because the zigzag eye motion adds to the cognitive load required to complete the form. The next issue is easily seen in these first 2 fields. There are no labels. They only use placeholders. This common design creates a few problems. On longer forms, this can make people lose their place as they're filling it out. In addition, labels act as additional click targets, increasing the area where people can click to get into that field. And for people who use screen readers, using just placeholders affects how the screen reader reads back this form to them. So here's the redesigned form. It's a lot simpler, 1 column with labels. By focusing on the usability of your landing pages, you'll increase the accessibility for every single one of your customers. Now, representing your customers and doing the work to support their needs is great, but there's one final thing to do to help your PPC campaigns be more ethical. Actually informing our clients' customers of how we use their data is vastly underrepresented way to be ethical about our PPC advertising. So many times when we drive ads to a website, we see a privacy policy that quickly devolves into 10-cent words like herein and vague phrases like trusted third parties. What's funny is that there's a legal requirement against this. GDPR's Article 12 requires that data controllers provide information about data processing, quote, in a concise, transparent, intelligible, and easily accessible form using clear and plain language. The good news is that one of the best privacy policy templates comes built into the back end of the most widely used CMS on the web, WordPress. So the first thing that you'll notice is that the WordPress privacy policy asks you to state exactly what personal data you collect. If you've been keeping up with the news, you'll know that IP addresses, locations, and even device types are all considered personal data. Tell your customers every single thing that you collect. The second great thing is that it separates out your data collection by action. So you can structure your privacy policy alongside your data audit. This helps you organize your privacy policy in a way that helps customers find where their data is going based on what they do on the site. And finally, the WordPress template provides sections for other data partners. Your hosting company logs personal information. Your web analytics collects personal information. And if you're using an email service to collect newsletter signups, you're sending that company personal information. Your customers deserve to know specifically who else gets their data from you. Privacy policies communicate how advertising actually works to the public. We as advertisers have to help our clients and their customers protect their data online. So that's a really quick overview of ethical considerations in PPC. Promote inclusivity by using models that reflect all of your audience. Focus on usability for all of your users to help increase accessibility. And use a descriptive, plain language privacy policy to explain to your clients' customers how you use their personal information. I hope you all have gotten out of the time that we've had together the same feeling that I have about doing marketing ethically, that everything that makes our marketing more ethical also makes it more effective. Thanks so much, Jill, for having me, and I hope y'all stay tuned for Armada.
Thank you, Doug, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the Zone. If you'd like to connect with Doug, you can find him on Twitter at Fakang Mabubo or at Magnaventress, or feel free to shoot him an email, dthomas@magnaventress.com. Next month, PPC Zone August 2022, I'm excited to present e-commerce PPC Let's Get Ready for the Holidays, featuring Corey Henke, Mendeep Kaur, and Menachem Ani. Go to ppc.zone to set a reminder. You won't want to miss it next month. To learn more about PPC Zone and our speakers, or to apply to speak at an upcoming event, visit ppc.zone. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales. You can find me on Twitter at Jill Saskin-Gales, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in the zone.